The research suggests how a growth in body grant of narcotic overdosage deaths could assist America's body lack, but it as well shows how among 2000 and 2017, lot security organs of overdosage death donors were not utilized to rescue lives while they could include been. This present plague of deaths of overdosage is a tragic. It would as well be tragical to go on to underutilize lifetime-saving transplants of donors, told Dr. Christine Durand, aide prof of medical and cancer at Johns Hopkins College, who led the research. We include a commitment to optimize the use of all security organs sacrificed. The donors, families, and patients' weight merit our top force to use each souvenir of lifetime we can, she told. In our research, 56% of overdosage death donors were marked as enlarged communicable hazard donors. These donors need specialty test for HIV and hepatitis so as specialty agreement for the replant beneficiary. Down there is stigmatization associated to the enlarged communicable hazard sticker, Durand told. In fact, the enlarged hazard of HIV or hepatitis in these donors is really cheap, she told. Such numbers show an enormous gap among delivery and consumer demand. To human beings wait on an body replant order currently, I would love to believe how our teaching give them expect how they could get a replant and include more than donors how could assist them, Durand told. I as well don't wish to miss view of the human beings who done these transplants probable, the donors and their families, she told. In a period of big tragic, they done a strong judgment to rescue the lives of human beings wait on a replant. How tool they are lavish, merciful human beings. They are human beings I feast. They are the human beings who do body gift and transplant probable. Lot security organs sacrificed following overdosage die were thrown. The researchers identified 7,313 overdosage death donors in the information who had at low one body restored for how period. Down there were 19,897 transplants of such donors. The information showed how the quantity of overdosage death donors enlarged by 17% per year among 2000 and 2017. In compare, above how period, the quantity of injury death donors enlarged by 1.6% per year, and the quantity of care death donors enlarged by 2.3% per year. A injury death funder could be who dead by drowning, firearm or suffocation, amongst some causes. A care death funder could be who dead by bleeding, course, or cardiac assault, amongst some causes. In special, the researchers found how the quantity of overdosage death donors climbed of 66 in 2000, covering 1.1% of the domestic swimming pool, to 1,263 in 2016, covering 12.7%, and later to 915 in the at first 9 months of 2017, covering 13.4%. The researchers as well found how in 2016, overdosage death donors taken into account for at low 10% of donors in 29 states, in the highest percentages seen in Massachusetts at 35.6%, New Hampshire at 32.4%, New Jersey at 25.7%, New York at 23.1% and Maryland at 22.7%. Common, the researchers found a 24stack growth in overdosage death funder transplants, of 149 in 2000 to 3,533 in 2016. Patients who acquired transplants of these donors had great outcomes. Patient surviving and body feature were such to cases while donors dead due to injury and such or superior rather than cases while the funder dead due to care causes of die, love cardiac assault or course, Durand told. Which was partly remarkable was how, in spite the nice outcomes we see in replant budget recipients, lot security organs sacrificed following overdosage die were thrown, how is, they were surgically restored but later not utilized for replant in any patient, she told. For the year of the research, the researchers identified 1,665 kidneys, 501 livers, 117 hearts and 23 lungs of overdosage death donors how were restored but thrown. Such security organs were thrown at a high bet rather than such of injury death donors but reduce rather than such of care death donors, the researchers found. For copy, kidneys were thrown at a bet of 14.1% amongst overdosage death donors, compared in 8.8% amongst injury death donors but 26.1% amongst care death donors. The throw was mainly associated to an growing incidence of hepatitis C contagion amongst overdosage death donors and enlarged communicable hazard, Duran told. In replant, you ever include to balance sheet the hazard and gain, she told. Patients and their replant teams include to weight the little hazard of an contagion love hepatitis C, for that we now include a treatment, versus the hazard of moribund on the expect listing. We requirement to rescue more than lives. The research had several limitations, consisting how the researchers were incapable to define how lot of the overdosage death donors dead, particularly of opiate narcotic overdoses against non-opioid overdoses. As well, state and jurisdictions differ in their accountability of particular drugs involved in overdosage deaths. We at UNOS include observed the growth in the numbers of body donors, particularly above the history several year, resultant of the tragic of the opiate meltdown in the joint state, told Klassen, who was not implicated in the new research. This research importantly illustrates how beneficiary outcomes are such derived of donors who die of some causes. It as well illustrates how the replant framework has effectively turned on the use of security organs of these donors in clinic experience, resultant in benefits to lot patients, Klassen told. Underuse of security organs of these donors yet occurs and is perhaps undervalued in the document by looking at throw rates with the does not expense for security organs how are never insured in spite the opportunity of provided gain to capacity budget recipients, he told. The drafting telephone call for improved efforts to ensure security organs for patients' largest potential to include length-term gain of transplant. We requirement to rescue more than lives of persons waiting body replant, she wrote. This replant society should know these new information and hammer front in the direction superior replant outcomes for more than budget recipients.